All right, Eagles fans. I know Mark Sanchez, well, he sucked last night. But Billy Davis has to take the blame for this loss. At some point, you have to make adjustments. Not only do you not bring pressure on Tony Romo at all, he leaves Bradley Fletcher on an island all freaking night. Fletcher got burned time after time after time. Billy, you're going to give him skin cancer, bro. Mike Owens is here. I'm Adrian Fedque. Oh, my God. Oh, that was awful.
It was so bad that I just came back from Fletcher Island and I am burned from head to toe. That's why I'm dressed like this today. And I have to keep my hood up because I'm embarrassed to show off how red I am today. If you go to Fletcher Island, they don't sell suntan lotion there. They sell baby oil and they rub it all over you so that you burn to death. And last night on Fletcher Island, it was no different. I burned to death on Fletcher Island, and so did the rest of Philadelphia, as we sat there and watched Des Bryant, the former crybaby, turn into a jumping, joy-filled kid on Christmas, as he caught one touchdown pass after another over Bradley Fletcher. And just like that, it's a day of mourning in Philadelphia. We
Now,
thought it was going to be joyful, but it's not.
oh, man. Now, I'm hoping you pop up on this video because for whatever reason, you're not right now. But, um, God damn it, dude. You know, three-man fronts all freaking game long. In order for Romophobia to kick in, you have to pressure him. You have to get him down. You have to force him to make mistakes. He had all day to throw. 10 seconds in the pocket, just scanning the field. Are you kidding me? And then, you know, you finally make adjustments with what, 5 minutes left in the game? When the game's already over? You finally put Kerry Williams on Des Bryant, and yes, he's still a crybaby. I don't care what anyone says. He's a crybaby. But, oh, are you kidding me? At least, like, okay, at least if you're going to keep Fletcher on him, get some safety help over the top. Make Witten beat you. Make Cole Beasley, make Terrence Williams beat you. Make somebody else beat you. Don't let Des Bryant just keep catching one touchdown pass after another, after another. You can't let that happen.
I'm at a loss for words. I just don't know what to say. I mean, you can't go into that game and leave Fletcher just on an island all by himself against Des Bryant. I mean, it's just a recipe for disaster. We saw what happened in the Packers game. We should have learned from that. Jordy Nelson, he went to Fletcher Island, and he had himself a hell of a day as well. And Des Bryant did the same thing. Early on in the game, they were actually doubling Des Bryant, but Jason Witten was giving him trouble, and he was just converting one third down after another. And then they decided to switch their game plan, and they decided to focus their attention on Jason Witten, and they left Bradley Fletcher out on an island all by himself against Des Bryant. And we saw the repercussions, and it wasn't pretty.
No, 6 catches, 114 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, Jesus Christ. I don't know what Billy Davis is thinking. You know, he's done a pretty good job so far, you know, his first 2 years, but that was bad. That was bad last night. That was awful. That just awful strategy, game plan, everything. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. I'm at a loss for words. I'm just like you. How? This is a guy that likes to bring pressure, likes to bring the blitz, and he didn't at all. Are you kidding me? Especially with a guy that has a back injury. You'd think you'd want to pressure the guy. They didn't at all. Oh my God.
They just let Tony Romo sit back there and elude the pressure, throw touchdown passes, and, well, there was no Romophobia because the cure was Bradley Fletcher. All, all that Romo had to do was throw the ball Des Bryant or Jason Witten, and the Eagles just had no answer.
None whatsoever. It just, oh man. You know, this loss stings for a variety of reasons. Obviously, it's the Cowboys, but you get down 21-0, you come all the way back, and then you turn the ball over twice. Story of the season. Keep giving the ball away. You know, it's Christmas season. Hey, Merry Christmas, Dallas.
Yeah, you hand the Cowboys, a 21-0 lead. It's going to be tough to come back from. Well, the toughest part about this game was we actually came back from it. And we scored 24 unanswered points. And then the biggest turning point in the game was after we take that 24-21 lead, we let the Cowboys march down the field. 8 plays, 78 yards. They take 5:03 off the clock. DeMarco Murray ends it with a 2-yard touchdown run. Cowboys take back the lead. And from there on, we just couldn't recover. And then it got into a position where we had to put the ball in Sanchez's hands. And, well, we saw what happens when you do that. It ends in interceptions, and the result is the Cowboys holding on for a victory. And now they control their own fate, and we have to rely on the Cowboys losing one more game, and we have to win out.
Yeah, they're going to need a little luck. They're going to need a little luck. Yeah, so, man. This is probably the toughest show we've ever had to do. Oh, God. I can't even think of things to talk about right now. It's just, I'm just so disgusted with everything that happened last night. Oh, man. All right, so, all right. I guess we could talk about Sanchez a little bit. I hope Eagles fans now understand why we never thought that he was the guy. Like I know a lot of people were clamoring for him when Nick Foles was struggling earlier on in the season, but this guy, man, he's awful. He's awful. He sucks. He stinks. You can't even hit it. He can't throw anything over 20 yards, and then anything that's 10 yards, you can't even hit him either. Josh Huff overthrow. Zach Ertz missed him. Leads to a pick. I mean, did he make any good throws last night? Because I didn't see any.
I don't remember too many of them, that's for sure. I mean, he finishes the game 17 for 28. I mean, if you're only throwing the ball 28 times, you would like to see him complete more passes than that. Like you said, he was just missing guys all over the field. The key thing was, too, he was missing guys in key situations when we really needed to pick up a first down. Other thing that I didn't like in that game from Sanchez was the way that he looked in the pocket. I mean, he didn't throw the ball away when he had to. He was, just making very late decisions, taking too many sacks, bad sacks that resulted in, big losses. And I thought that was huge. We didn't see the mobile Sanchez like we saw on, Thanksgiving against the Cowboys. This was a totally different Sanchez. It was like the Sanchez that we saw with the Jets, the butt fumble Sanchez.
Yeah. And this is what, my friend, he warned me about this, and, I've seen Sanchez like this too, but he couldn't stress enough. He's like, all right, when he's bad, he's real, real bad. And when he gets bad in a hurry, This is the stretches that he goes through. He'll go through like a couple games where he'll play okay, he'll look pretty good. We saw that, you know. A couple games he had some good passes, had some good games. But the last two, he's playing scared. That's what I'm noticing. You know, Seattle, he had guys open, didn't even fucking throw them the ball. This game, just missing guys. Throw that one that Josh Huff really pissed me off. You know, and, like it's such an easy completion, and you can't make the throw. Every time he threw the ball, I was cringing. I was just like, oh God, please don't let it be an interception. Every time, every freaking time. Shouldn't be like that. I mean, the only good throw he made all night was the one where he rolled right and Matthews dropped it. That was the only good pass he had all night that I could think of. I guess the one that Macklin was okay. You know, that Macklin goes all the way to the 1 yard line. But Sanchez sucked last night. It was just awful. And it's funny because reporters were asking Chip Kelly last night. They're like, well, are you going to turn to Matt Barkley? Guys, if you think Sanchez sucks, Matt Barkley is on a whole nother level of suck. All right? So I don't even want to. No. Stop it. No. I'd rather have, G.J. Kinney in there than Matt Barkley. All right? So don't even get me started on that discussion.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why Barkley never even came close to coming into that game because there's a huge drop off if you want to went to Barkley. So Barkley's not even going to be on this team probably next year. So yeah, but yeah, that's a thing that's been very frustrating with Sanchez is he's so inconsistent, and he can even be inconsistent, within one game. That's how inconsistent he is. He can look, good on one series, bad on the next series. So you can't have that, especially as a starting quarterback in this league, and that's why he's a backup in this league. So. Yeah, I mean, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to deal with them for at least another week because Foles hasn't been cleared to play against Washington on Saturday night. So we're stuck with them for another week, and at this rate, I hate to say it, but I think we're stuck with them, and until the end of the regular season, and if we get lucky and we make the playoffs, then hopefully Foles is ready by then. But the rest of the way, it looks like Sanchez is in there.
Well, they ain't winning shit if Sanchez is the quarterback. That's for damn sure. You know? Oh my God. Oh. Hey, it's funny because a couple weeks ago we're like, he's a pretty good backup quarterback, but he's probably going to play himself into a starter's role next year. Not anymore. Not anymore. Hey, at least he's going to be back as a backup next year. You know what? Hey, that's great. He's a great backup. Honestly. But as a starter, oh my God, I don't care if Nick Foles has broken shoulder. I don't play through the pain, man. I can't deal with this anymore. I can't deal with it. Oh my God, now I can feel the Jets' pains for the last couple years. Jesus Christ. Oh man, God Almighty. Oh, God, just awful, man, awful. Yeah. So I guess we can talk about this now. Because I think last night really showed why you can't mortgage the future to go get Marcus Mariota. Because this team needs secondary help so bad. Real bad. I mean, you look back, obviously Jim Johnson's teams, in terms of bringing the pressure, he's kind of like Billy Davis in that sense. They both like to bring a lot of pressure. But when you bring a lot of pressure, it is imperative to have two shutdown corners. Two of them. Not one, two of them. Because they're going to be on an island a lot. And obviously, you always had them with the Eagles. You had, Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent. And then you had Leo Shepard and Sheldon Brown. So they always had corners with Jim Johnson's system. But right now, you got to go get some guys because Fletcher, he ain't cutting it. Kerry Williams, he ain't cutting it either. He's been okay the last month, actually, which is funny because I always talk shit on the guy, but he ain't cutting it either. They need to start fresh with you know, they need to go draft. First 2 rounds, I'd go corners. I don't give a fuck unless they can sign a free agent. But if they don't go corner first round, I'm going to be pissed off.
No, but I totally agree with you there. I mean, they definitely need some big time help in the secondary. Obviously, they also need to get another receiver. I feel like they need to find another safety to replace Nate Allen. So they've got a lot of hills full. I mean, Jesus Christ, I can't even speak today. They've got a lot of holes to fill on defense. So I mean, they can score points, but defense, I mean, it's just killing them. And that's why they can't mortgage their future for Mariota because that defense needs a lot of work in the secondary.
Yeah, and you can't mortgage a future for Mariota because like we've seen it in the past. There's 2 instances now. Herschel Walker, when Herschel Walker was traded, the Dallas Cowboys they got all the pieces to go win a Super Bowl. The Redskins right now with RG's three situation. I mean the lot of players that the Rams got, not you can't even compare it to what RG3 is. So 2 big, massive failures, and you really want to do that again with the Eagles, and obviously they're going to have to give up a lot more than what the Redskins gave up to the Rams to go get them because they're going to be in like the mid-20s with a draft pick. But man, yeah. So we'll move on to another topic now because right now the Eagles are not in the playoffs. They are the 7th seed right now. This this season went from, being great 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, you're 9-3. You're in great position. You're en route to possibly even getting a playoff bye. Now all of a sudden, they could be on the cusp of being the second 11-5 team if they go 11-5 to not make the postseason. This is unreal. What's happened the last 2 weeks? Just everything, just shit in the bed right now. It's awful.
Yeah, well, like we said that they were going to have to split, these 2 games between Seattle and Dallas, and the worst case scenario happened.
Mhm.
We lost both of them, and the way that Seattle is playing right now, that doesn't help us at all. We didn't get any help from the 49ers yesterday in that case. Uh, we needed with the result of our game yesterday, we actually needed the Lions to lose. We didn't get help there. So uh, we're in a bad position because we decided that we wanted to lose to every playoff team in the NFC. So we literally hold no tiebreakers. The only tiebreaker we would own would be over Dallas if we end with the same record. So yeah, it's not a good situation at all. I mean, I'll tell you what, we hopefully we can beat the Redskins, and after that, I mean, we've got to really become the biggest Colts fans ever because that's the only shot that we really have.
That's our season. It's Sunday. Eagles aren't even playing, and that's our season right there. You know, oh, I'm ordering my Andrew Luck jersey. I'm should be getting it in a couple days. I will be repping it. We gotta hope and pray that the Colts win because obviously that's the only way the Eagles are gonna get in. And God, I swear to God, if they do get this Colts win, and then they go out against the Giants and lay an egg, I'm gonna be pissed off. And that Giants game does scare me a little bit because they got this guy named Odell Beckham, and Odell Beckham is every bit as good as Des Bryant. And you put him on an island with Bradley Fletcher, good riddance. He's gonna get skin cancer by that point.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. Odell Beckham is the real thing, man. This guy is unreal right now. I mean, he's putting on a show, and you can see why the Eagles wanted to go after him. But unfortunately, you know, Giants had a better pick to us, and they snagged him before we could. But yeah, that guy is he's going to be really good. So we're gonna have to deal with him for a long time. So we better find a cornerback that can shut him down.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. All right. Let's get back to this game a little bit. Obviously you're down 21-0 in a blink. I mean, everything just it went to shit on the opening fucking play. Really. First kickoff. Just the complete opposite of what happened on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, you go up 14-0, first two drives, right down the field, and your foot's on their throat. Last night, first play, Josh Huff, Brad Smith. I don't know what the fuck you two are doing, but Mike, just explain what happened because I can't. I'm had enough already.
Well, rarely do you see a team not able to handle the kickoff like that. I mean, the ball bounced at about the 10-yard line, and the Eagles had no idea what to do. And it became an onside kick, and the Dallas just fell on it. It was a big time miscommunication between Smith and Huff. Uh, Huff really just stood there, didn't even go after the ball. The ball took a weird bounce, and the Cowboys jumped on it. And right there, that's the worst way that the Eagles could have started the game, and the Cowboys take it in and get 7 points right away. Worst possible start. And then, I mean, the Eagles offense just comes out. First play, Eagles run is a wide receiver screen to Riley Cooper. Why in the world? That's their first play after they've been practicing all week. I have no idea. I really don't. I mean, Riley Cooper could have went upfield and got a few yards.
Yeah.
Instead, he decides to stand there like he's at a stop sign, and he gets tackled, and it was just all downhill from there. So the Eagles' offense was just stalled early on. With their three and outs, the first three series, I believe, they just couldn't do anything, and the Cowboys dominated time of possession.
I'm with you on that Riley Cooper play. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Your first play after a week of practice, your first play is to Riley Cooper? Are you kidding me? God, and then, yeah, I tweeted about this. Instead of going north south, he goes east west. Like, what are you doing? You're not LaShawn McCoy, dude. You're white. You got no moves. Kidding me? He goes laterally. Are you kidding me? I can't. I hope they cut his ass at the end of the season. I don't know if they're going to because they signed him to a 5-year deal, but he is the worst wide receiver I've ever seen, ever. He's so bad. Oh my God, he's so bad. So
Well,
go ahead.
the worst thing that could have happened was that thing at the concert because he made those remarks at the concert, and then he kind of got fired up after that. He had a good few games, and then ever since then he's absolutely done nothing. So hey, Kenny Chesney is coming back to Philadelphia this summer, so maybe they should send Riley Cooper down to the concert so he can make some more remarks, and then he'll be good next season.
Well, he shows more fight at those, concerts than he does on the field. That's for sure. God.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that.
Oh boy. All right. So, and this is where we get to this point. We talked about this. When that no huddle bullshit, snapping the ball every 5 seconds, you can't keep doing it and keep trotting your defense out on the field. First quarter, they were outgained 121-0. 11-0 in first downs. Now, I didn't see the time of possession, but it wasn't very much. You can't just keep trotting your defense defense out on the field. They're dog tired. You can't do it. At some point, Chip has to learn when to take his foot off the gas. I know he's only in his second year in the NFL. This isn't college, all right? I get it. You got to learn, though. You got to learn it, man, because it happened last week, and it happened again this week. Dallas held the ball for 42 minutes. Same exact thing that happened last week. This can't keep happening.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's almost come to the point where he's able to run, this fast tempo offense against bad teams, but when he gets into a situation against good teams, I feel like he's got to switch up his game plan. And initially, I feel like they have to come out in the first quarter and they almost have to run a normal offense until they get into a rhythm. Because if you play good teams in this league and you want to run this up-tempo offense, if you're going to continue to go 3 and out early in a game, and you're going to let a team like the Cowboys jump out to a 21-0 lead, then you're just, asking for trouble. And that's what happened in this game. The Eagles' offense didn't really get going until, the midway through the second quarter, and well, it was, it was almost too late at that point.
Yeah, and you know what? He's never going to change his style. It's always going to be like this. So we're just going to have to deal with it, basically. So it's the same thing as Andy Reid. Andy Reid never ran the ball. Well, Chip Kelly's never going to slow it down unless, there's 3 minutes left and, you got to waste the clock. But it's going to be like this, and we're just going to have to deal with it. So, yeah, so, at least it was 21-0 in the first quarter. That was the only thing that the Eagles had working for them because, if it was 21-0 after 2.5 quarters, then it would have definitely been over because you put the ball in Mark Sanchez's hands, you make him throw the ball, you're never going to win. But at least, they were able to still establish LaShawn McCoy. Now, he only had 16 carries, and that was the problem with the whole thing, this whole recipe here. That's why the game went to shit on the opening kickoff because you couldn't establish McCoy. Now, you couldn't run the ball as much as you would have liked to because you're down all these points already off the snap, and making Sanchez throw the ball. Can't win with him throwing the ball like that. Now, he only threw it 28 times, but that's because Dallas, they held the ball for most of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of ironic because, we're talking about how we don't want, Sanchez to throw the ball that much, but I honestly felt like, the Eagles should have opened up the game with the deep pass down the field to Macklin. Because I kind of felt like the Cowboys knew that the Eagles were going to come out and try to establish the running game. And I don't know if they really would have expected, a deep pass from Sanchez. And why would they? I mean, we haven't seen a deep pass from Sanchez since when he came in relief of Foles in that Texans game. That's honestly the only time that we've seen Sanchez throw a deep ball and connect on it. We saw him try to throw one against Seattle to Riley Cooper, and we saw what happened there. Well, it's Riley Cooper, and he didn't even try to get the ball. But, yeah, the deep game has gone absolutely nowhere since Sanchez has come in. It's vanished from this offense.
Now, I did have some numbers that I posted on Twitter about this. Nick Foles is leading the NFL in pass attempts over 20 yards. Through pass attempts over 20 yards, 19.3% of the time. Sanchez, I think it was only like 11% of the time that he was doing it. So you're seeing a dramatic drop-off in your vertical passing game. And that's the thing with Chip Kelly is when he does pass the ball, it's a lot of, obviously you like the run of the ball, but it's a lot of flip screens. And when he's not running the flip screens and the crossing routes, the short routes, he likes to go deep. It's not like a lot of like crazy intermediate stuff. It's a lot of deep stuff and a lot of underneath with the crossing patterns and the bubble screens. So, and you just can't get it with Sanchez right now. He's just not. He's not good enough. He just can't. I mean, it's funny that you bring up the the Houston thing. I was going to bring that up, and that honestly, that's the last time I can think of him throwing a ball over 40 yards. I can't think of anything else, you know. And we make fun of Foles that he's got a noodle arm. Well, if he has a noodle arm, what the hell does Sanchez have?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I asked Chip Kelly about this, today about, Sanchez's arm and, why aren't they throwing the deep ball with Sanchez? And, Chip kind of just, blew it off. They didn't really talk about it, but, it's definitely something to talk about because if the Eagles, don't show that they have the capability to throw the ball downfield, then that's really a big advantage to the defense.
Huge advantage. It really is. You're taking away a big part of the, what Chip Kelly likes to do, and you just everything is underneath. Everything's crossing routes. Everything is, flip screens. I mean, you saw a couple out routes yesterday, and even that's hard for Sanchez to make that throw. So, man, he's just it's just not cutting it, not cutting it right now.
Well, Sanchez definitely didn't go, get a cheesesteak this time from Pat's and Gino's.
Nope, nope, not at all.
Ever
So,
since ever since he ate that damn cheesesteak, it's been poisonous.
oh man,
He should have retired as an Eagle after that game against the Panthers.
man, it was so funny though. Like that game against the Panthers, everybody's on the bandwagon. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's better than Foles." All this. I think we were the only ones that were like, "Dude, relax, people. It's Mark Sanchez. No, you do not want him instead of Foles." I never
Yeah,
understood that. And it's like Sanchez, he gets the beneficiary of having a healthy offensive line now. This isn't what Foles had. So you have all this you get protection, and this is what you get. This is what he's doing right now. You got to be shitting me.
yeah. I mean, we're talking about this deep passing game, and it's at the point where even if Foles, comes back and he's throwing interceptions on deep balls, I really won't even mind that. I mean, at this point, they got to do something to throw the ball downfield. So, uh, I mean, really, we know that Foles is better than Sanchez.
Mm.
So it's really a no-brainer at this point that when Foles is healthy, he's got to be the quarterback.
All right, I got the play-by-play up because I was curious about this. Dallas's second drive. They run 16 plays. They go 88 yards. I
No,
believe, this is the drive where Witten has three of those third down conversions. So you take 8 minutes and 16 seconds off the clock, and this is where this, our argument about this fast tempo comes into play. Now, I don't mind doing the fast tempo once you get a first down, but you better make sure you get that first down, because if you don't, this is what happens. They run three plays, it's another 3-and-out, and Dallas gets the ball back right after they just chewed 8:16 off the clock, ran 16 plays. It doesn't matter how many smoothies you drink. It doesn't matter this sports science bullshit. It doesn't matter about all that because your defense is going to be tired. They're on the field for 8 minutes and 16 seconds, and then you punt the ball back right then, right away. You're right back on the field.
yeah, well, we've always talked about how, first down is such a crucial down for the Eagles offense. Now you go and you look at these first few Eagles drives. The first one, they have, that screen pass to Cooper for no gain. Second series, McCoy, -1 yards. Now our third series of the game, you know, we've got Sanchez, a pass to Selleck, for 5 yards. But, after that, that's when they actually got going there. They got 5 yards on that series, and they actually got a touchdown out of it. But it just shows that how first down is really key because you even look then on their next series when they got a field goal, in, they the second play they picked up 11 yards. So really, first and second down especially are really key in this offense.
Yeah, first down's almost like more important than third down because you if you don't get more than 4 yards on first down, especially with Mark Sanchez as your quarterback, you're not going to convert a 3rd and 9. You're not going to convert it. You can just kiss that goodbye. So, I will still never get over this Riley Cooper call on the first play of the game. I know it's the first play of the game, but I could not. I was just like I was dumbfounded when I saw that, and then for him to not even he had a nice little like lane to go through to pick up 5 or 6 yards. He goes east west. What the fuck are you doing, dude?
He was heading back to the concert.
Oh man.
Because they didn't allow him to go north and south over the fence. They kept him east and west away from the security guard. So
Oh boy. All right. So all right. At least well, it's kind of hard to take away positives from this game, but um, if there was one thing that I really liked, they got Chris Polk involved around the 5 yard line. The goal line situations. We've been clamoring for this for a while because a lot of times with McCoy, he's great in the open field and stuff, but around the goal line, he does tend to get a little bit more bottled up. And Polk, he just goes immediately north south, and I believe he had two touchdowns, right?
yeah, Polk had two and Sproles had one.
Yeah. So Polk was doing a great job in between the tackles, and he scored the first touchdown to get the Eagles within 14. And I thought a critical point in the game was, well, it didn't turn out to be this way, but obviously, but you got it at 21-10. Cowboys get the ball back with like 2 minutes left, and obviously they also had the opening possession of the second half. So it's 21-10, but it easily, if they kick a field goal to end the half and then maybe either get another field goal or score a touchdown, you're looking at a 31-10 deficit. But the Eagles, they did a great job, and they didn't allow any points. And that's what makes this loss just so disappointing, was because everything kind of happened the way we hoped it would. You come all the way back, 24-21. You establish a running game. McCoy got going in the third quarter, second quarter. Blocking was outstanding. And then just the mistakes again. The Eagles have 34 giveaways on the season now. Obviously, by far the most in the NFL. Second is Tampa Bay with 31. Third is Indianapolis with 28. So they are like heads and above everybody in turnovers. And they really haven't been biting us in the ass too much. But last night they did. 4 of them. You're up 24-21, and just those back-to-back turnovers, they just killed them. And this is where you could talk about why the Eagles didn't get to the line, because you were ranting about this, and I want you to get all pissy about this because you deserve to get pissy about this.
Wait, what was this one?
This is where why didn't they spike the ball?
Oh, yeah, this one. Uh, yeah, close to the end of the game there when Selleck fumbled. Your season, potentially could be on the line here, and you don't get to the line in time to, spike the ball. Instead, you have Sanchez line up in a shotgun and try to call a play when they really should have just, spiked the ball. Instead, Dallas was able to get the challenge flag out there, and really a big play in the game, because who knows what would have happened. Maybe the Eagles would have got a drive going there, and at the time, they were still in position to possibly tie the game. So that was really just a big play, and I don't understand why more teams just don't run up to the line and spike the ball in that situation. It seems like teams run up to the line and try to call a play, when in reality you just go up and spike the ball. So Uh, I I'll never understand that.
And they could have easily gotten the line and spiked it because Garrett was kind of indecisive there. Took him a while to get that flag out, and you didn't do it. And that take right now it could be your season because it's getting to be pretty desperate right now. Um, man, I mean, you're not as optimistic as I am, but I will say this: if our hopes really do rest on Indianapolis, and if they don't win, it's over, guys. Season's over. We're not making the playoffs. Man, crazy.
Yep. We could end up being 11-5 and not making the playoffs. And if that happens, yeah, it's going to be a pretty depressing time in Philadelphia because we thought that, we had the Eagles, and if they don't make the playoffs, it's going to be sad because honestly, I mean, this whole season, there was really never a doubt in my mind that we were, you know, not going to make the playoffs. I definitely thought that we were going to make the playoffs. At least even get a wild card, but at this point, I mean, our chances are looking slim. And when you have to, rely on other people to lose to get into the playoffs, it's never a good thing. We had, all the cards in our hand, and we laid them down. Now we've got no cards left, and it's really disappointing, and that's why this loss to the Cowboys hurts so much. Not only is it a loss to the Cowboys, but it's a loss that could have potentially ended our season. And ending 11-5 and not making the playoffs would, I mean, that would really just be a killer.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a step backwards. And
Hmm.
even though you go 11-5, you have a great regular season. It's a step backwards because this three-game stretch really, kind of told me where this team's at a little bit. We're not ready to go make a Super Bowl run yet. Maybe we thought maybe because of the way the conference was set up and the way things were playing out, maybe they could make a run. But to lose the last two games the way they did, each of the losses were awful in their own separate way. Like last week against Seattle, they just got thumped. This week it was you come all the way back and then you turn the ball over twice. I mean, it's just disappointing.
Yeah, well, you know, what this has shown me is Chip Kelly can still score points, really no matter who his quarterback is. But the problem is when you get into a game against a good team or an elite team, you need a defense,
Yep.
a good defense at least. And right now we have parts of a defense. We've got some good players on our defense, but we don't have a complete defense yet, and that's a major problem. Our front seven is pretty good. All right, that's intact, or especially our defensive line. That's pretty much set for the future. But right now, we've really got to work on that secondary because that is our biggest weakness, and bad teams aren't going to be able to take advantage of that. But when you bring in good teams and elite teams, and when they bring in wide receivers like, Des Bryant or guys like Odell Beckham, they're going to be able to exploit you. So, and that's exactly what the Cowboys did. They chipped away at our weakest link, and it paid off for them.
And this is why I'm absolutely dumbfounded as to why Billy Davis would not bring heat on the quarterback because the way to mask those deficiencies in the secondary is to bring the heat, is to limit the time in the pocket to throw the ball. And all day he's just sitting back there. He could have had a beer. He could have smoked a cigarette before he threw the ball.
Well, I always go back to the Washington game when the Redskins beat the Cowboys in Dallas. And the Redskins had a great game plan that game because they brought the house against Romo, and he really didn't know what to do. Obviously, well, Romo went out for a little bit in that game, but against Brandon Whedon too, they brought the house against them, and Cowboys really didn't have an answer. So I was kind of hoping that the Eagles were going to come in with a similar game plan. I kind of feel like on Thanksgiving it was kind of a game plan like that. They kind of brought the heat, but this game, I mean, when they had a three-man front on third and long, I'm just not a fan of that at all.
No, no, not at all. Jim Johnson's probably rolling in his grave right now by that game plan last night. Just yeah, I just don't get it at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. I just like, what are you doing? I mean, we're not coordinators. I mean, we're not NFL coaches, but come on. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? Doesn't make any sense at all. I just, I don't know. I mean, you said it right there. Washington, you bring the heat every freaking play, and and the thing about this Dallas offensive line, yeah, it's one of the best offensive lines in the league, but their run blocking is a lot better than their pass blocking. They can be had in terms of pass protection, but I don't know. I will never understand the game plan for last night's game. Hopefully Billy Davis really learned from this, because what can you say? He gets a big F. It's an F minus. I mean, just everything he did. Just I didn't understand anything he did. I want to understand your mindset. I want to see. I haven't looked at Eagles post game live yet. I know they always talk to Davis after the game. I'm really curious to see what he has to say, because nothing he did made sense. Nothing. Nada.
Well, when the Eagles have played well on defense this year, they've been able to get to the quarterback
Hmm.
and get sacks and master deficiencies in the secondary.
Yep.
Well, that's why, I agree with you, and I totally don't understand what they were doing in this game, because instead of trying to get pressure on Romo, um, they really, let Romo play his game, the game that he wants to play, where he's able to sit back there and pick apart a defense. And the Eagles really relied on the weakest part of their team. They relied on their secondary to make plays, and they weren't able to do it.
Oh man.
I mean,
Well,
Vinny,
I was about to sing the lyrics to Gilligan's Island.
uh,
The season could be lost. The season could be lost. The weather's getting rough.
so, Vinny Curry, Brandon Graham,
Thumbs up to those guys.
Connor Barwin, Michael Kendricks, and you're telling me that you're not going to bring the house with those guys?
Baffling. Absolutely baffling. Oh man, it would have been nice though if Fletcher Cox would have broken his back on that one. He spun out of the sack. Oh man, he would have killed him.
Yeah, that was the classic, Tony Romo spin move,
Mhm.
and he got out of it. It's a good thing that Tony Romo took his injection this time, because if he didn't take his injection, he wouldn't have gotten out of that one. But yeah, Cox had a clean shot, totally just ran
Oh,
by him.
oh
But
man.
jeez, yeah,
Oh
but I'll
man.
tell you, talk about Fletcher Cox, another outstanding game. At this point, uh, if there's one guy to be excited about on this defense for the future,
Oh,
it's him, because he is outstanding right now.
they better lock him up off season. Make him, give him a lot of money, because
Yeah,
I want Cox. I want a lot of it.
and I got most of these guys don't deserve the contracts that they get in pro sports, but at the rate that he's playing right now, he deserves it.
Yeah, yeah. Third year. This is where you get going in the NFL, and he's on his way up. Definitely big time. Oh man, I'm gonna have my eyes glued tonight to see how the Bears show up, because that's another one of our hopes. Hope that the Bears can beat the Lions next week. I believe that game's in Chicago. I don't have any hopes for it, but I'd like see. I'm just looking to see if the Bears come out with some fight, because right now they have no fight. Dallas took it to them pretty good last Thursday night. So, there's not a lot of things that we can hang our hats on right now. It's basically
Yeah.
Indianapolis and Chicago because obviously the Lions they play Green Bay in Week 17, and well, at this point we're gonna have to hope that Green Bay wins. So, boy, I mean, if you get a 6 seed, you're gonna play Dallas, and if you get a 3 seed, you're probably gonna have to play Detroit. So. But a 3 seed right now, it's almost like even if they do get it, they're going to have to go play, on the road, divisional playoff against. It looks like it might be Seattle right now because they got Arizona next week, and they would sweep that season series, and it might even be Green Bay because Green Bay, what they have 4 losses now, so that Buffalo loss might actually work to our disadvantage, but. It's like we're thinking about all this right now, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just this is the worst show we've had in terms of getting up for it. I mean, it's just like, it's so hard to get through it.
Yeah, I'm glad that we talked about it, that it's over with, because
Hmm.
quite frankly, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's depressing.
Oh man, can you imagine if they don't make the playoffs? You said this pre-show. It's like it's almost better off that they got into a Sixers mode and tanked the season to get Mariota. Can you? Oh,
I mean,
like they would be the best non-playoff team. They're gonna get the worst pick out of those guys. It's like you might as well tank the season. God.
yeah, yeah, I mean, that's what makes it even tougher, because I don't even want to think about that right now. Because if that happens, where we go 11-5, don't even make the playoffs, and then we should have just freaking tanked, like you said, and
Yeah.
get Mariota. But now, I mean, there's no shot that we're even getting Mariota. So I mean, that was still going on this week before the Cowboys game. People were talking about this. I think that Ruben Frank was going almost lost it on his Twitter account because people kept asking him questions about Mariota, and he just he lost it this week and he couldn't take it anymore. I don't know where these people like are living. If they like they're obviously in a different world. I don't know what kind of drugs they're on, or what they're drinking, but there's it's just not possible.
No, not at all. And it's like even okay, you want them to move up, and obviously you would have to give up a bundle. But if you're a team like the Jets, or if you're a team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, why are you going to pass on him? You're not going to pass on him. So just don't even think about it, guys. Get it out of your heads. It's not going to happen. Don't even dream about it. Don't even think about it. Don't talk about it. It's not happening. Quite frankly, I hate talking about it because he is going to be a great quarterback. But it's not going to happen. All right? So just stop.
Yeah, so we got that out of the way, and well, that kind of brings me to this point. Now, we think that he's going to be a great quarterback in the NFL, but there's no guarantee.
No.
And I think a perfect example of that is, well, Johnny Manziel. Um, Everybody wanted, Johnny Football, and now all the fans in Cleveland are returning their Johnny Football jerseys, probably burning them after his performance against the Bengals. I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen a worse NFL start from a quarterback.
Johnny Goose Egg. Johnny Goose Egg. Oh boy, yeah, he's got bust written all over him, man. We saw the
Yeah,
signs in the preseason. I liked him coming out of college just because of I liked him for his entertainment purposes. I thought he might be all right in this offense. Um, Obviously I'm wrong because he sucks, but yeah, I mean I'm trying to think who maybe Geno Smith had a worse game than him this season.
I
I,
I don't know. I mean,
it's
Johnny Oh, it was that. I mean, that was awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just looked lost out there. I and really, um, that is. I mean, that's just a huge slap in the face to Brian Hoyer, if you ask me.
Yeah. I would have fucking hit him. Did you see that, Divine?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, this is the part that kind of surprises me that the Browns have made this switch right now because they kind of got into the hunt for a division
Yeah.
crown with Hoyer, and now they're going to put Manziel in, and he comes out, and I mean he throws up a clunker like this. You're pretty now you have really no shot at winning that division or going to the playoffs. So if they were going to go with Manziel, I thought they should have done it from the beginning of the season.
Completely agree with that. I understand Hoyer wasn't playing well the last month, but what did you really expect from Johnny Football? He wasn't just going to go save the season. He's a rookie quarterback who's never made a start in the NFL, and he's playing a pretty good defense. So did you really expect him to go save the day? I don't think anybody did. Now, honestly, I didn't expect him to be that bad. I mean, he was bad, bad. Like among one of the worst games I've ever seen him play.
Yeah.
So
Well, the thing that I always feared with Johnny Football coming to the NFL was that in college all he did at Texas A&M was he would roll out of the pocket every time and he would find an open receiver. Well, in the NFL, these guys are too fast and he's not fast enough to escape the pocket like that. So these guys crash in on him and he's got nowhere to go. And you could just tell when that happened in this game. I mean, the pocket collapsed, and I mean, he was just a lost puppy dog. He didn't know what to do with the football, and he made horrible decisions.
I mean, yeah, he was that bad. I just thought of something and I forgot what I was gonna say. But oh, that's what I was gonna say. Texas A&M had the best offensive line. They've had the best offensive line in football for a long time in college. Jake Matthews, obviously number one pick. They get all these guys every year, it seems like, that make it to the NFL that are very, very good. They got another guy coming up this season that's going to be a projected first round pick, I believe. So they're always producing left tackles, right tackles, a bunch of them, guards, centers. But, right now, Johnny Goose Egg. That's all we got to say.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, so man.
All right, so yeah, we're pretty much nearing the end of this show. Trying to think of any other topics we could talk about. We've covered everything. Um, it's hard to get through this show, but we got through it, Mike. We did it. Hooray for us.
Yeah. Woo.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, are you popping up on your screen, or am I up the whole time?
You're always up on mine, so
Yeah, I don't know what happened this week with the Google Plus. It seems like I'm the only one up. It's not changing this week. That's kind of strange.
I guess they're just gonna have to see your face for the entire show.
Well, I do have a face for TV. I'm drop dead gorgeous. Oh man,
Yeah.
make the ladies purr.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't even think that I have any final thoughts this week. I think, you know, I went and I got some ice cream. So my girlfriend's making dinner for me tonight. I think that I'm just gonna turn the lights out after that. I'm gonna eat my ice cream and probably go to bed.
I I wish people could see you today because you look so damn gloom. You got your hoodie on. You look like Bill Belichick. Oh man, yo, you know how like we were talking pre-show about all my drinks? Water's gone, iced tea's gone, and I'm halfway through the third water.
Jeez, you're a damn camel.
I am a camel. I love it. Oh boy. All right, so yeah, we got through the show. Anything else you want to talk about? Because I literally can't. My mind is just blank today, and I'm just depressed. It's like I broke up with a girlfriend or something. I'm just completely lost for words today. It's a lot of it has to do with our playoff hopes are now resting on the Colts, and we played ourselves out of the playoffs the last 2 weeks, and it is just it's depressing right now. And it's like Chip Kelly had this reputation in college where he beat up on the cupcakes, but then once bowl season came around and he had to play like a legit defense, his team would struggle. Saw it in the national championship game. Auburn won 16-13. I believe he got to a Rose Bowl where he lost to Ohio State. So this is kind of like the reputation with him, and like it just sucks because now it's like it's almost happening a little bit now. Well, it is happening. You beat Indianapolis week 2 of the season in a game where you might not have won if it weren't for some officiating at the end. So they kind of got lucky there. You beat Dallas on the road, but other than that, at San Francisco, at Green Bay, at Arizona, Dallas at home, 4 of them. So they're basically 2-4 against the good teams in the NFL.
Nope. Yeah, you bring up a very valid point, and it's something that we all have to worry about right now because it's not a good trend. And
Actually,
the
two
only
and five.
thing,
Forgot about Seattle. Jesus Christ.
yeah,
2-5.
Seattle. The only thing I can say is that that's why I feel like, we need to get a good defense here, get a complete defense. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to, put up, 30 some points in the game and come away with victories against, good teams. So, gotta really come up with a better defense, really build up that secondary, get some shutdown corners if we want to succeed under Chip Kelly.
Now, one last thing to talk about before we go, because I am hoping to God that this doesn't happen because I'm already seeing a lot of people wanting this. I hope to God we don't draft Brett Hundley. I am not impressed with Brett Hundley. I haven't been. I don't even know why he's like so far up the charts. I don't get it at all. I felt the same way about Matt Barkley. And what happened with Matt Barkley? He sucks. I'm not. I mean, I understand he's like your mobile quarterback, that could fit the system. But I'm not a big Brett Hundley fan. Haven't been. I don't see what's so special about him. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I'm not even touching a quarterback until at least the 4th round.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. I think we've talked about this. You got to give Foles another year, okay? You got to let him see what he has. Play with a great offensive line that's healthy. Because we've brought this up in prior shows. He hasn't had a healthy offensive line, and obviously, when you have a depleted offensive line, got to bring the tight ends in. When you bring the tight ends in, you have the running backs helping out the block. You have less receivers to throw to, and when you have Riley Cooper as one of those guys, it's not a recipe for success. So basically, he's throwing to Jordan Matthews or Jeremy Maclin, and that's it. Those are the only options he has. So I want to see how Foles does in a full year. Give him a full year. This is only his second. It's like I think people forget that he's only in his second year. I think people this was the second year starting. I think people forget that he's still a young guy. There's still room for him to improve, and I think people need to relax with him. I feel, and again, it feels like we're in the minority. Last season, it took us so long to hop on the bandwagon. Everybody was loving the guy, and now all of a sudden, people are off the bandwagon. We're the only ones left. So, it's crazy how the turn of events in Philadelphia and how fast it can happen. I mean, Philadelphia, man, come on.
Well, this draft coming up isn't really quarterback heavy at
No.
all. There's very select few guys that are gonna go early on, but besides that, there's not much depth at the quarterback position. So I don't think you're gonna have a guy, besides maybe Mariota, that's gonna come in and really change your franchise. So yeah, I don't think that this is a draft where you go after a quarterback. And like you said, I think that next year is really the make it or the break it year for Foles.
Yeah, completely agree. All right, so I think we'll end the show now. We've gone over an hour. I don't even know how we got to an hour. It's just unbelievable. But this is final thoughts time. I don't know what you want to talk about that we haven't talked about, but go ahead. It's your turn. Go.
Well, go out and eat your M&M's ice cream tonight because that's what I'll be doing.
Oh man, I'm gonna go get my peanut butter swirl. I love peanut butter.
Oh, there you go.
Me love peanut butter.
It's a good pick too.
Yeah, anything with peanut butter, I'll gobble that shit up.
There it is.
Yeah. We did it, guys. We got through the show. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, we're gonna have a preview up Thursday. We're both off Thursday, Mike, so we can do a show then. Hopefully, I would think so. 3 o'clock, same time as always. What we do. Thank God our work schedules don't, mess everything up this week. Although I am a little bit pissed off that I'm in at 7 o'clock on Saturday, with the Eagles game at 4:30. But what are you gonna do? So, yeah. With that being said, that's Mike Owens. I'm Adrian Fedque. Couldn't see Mike today, but he's got his hoodie on, so it's probably almost better off that you can't see him. He's so gloom in the face today. Oh man, but yeah, we're out of here, guys. Take it easy. Go Birds, and yeah, hopefully they get a little luck this Sunday. Take care. Peace.
See.